He was born in Skipperville, a little tiny little place, and then the family later moved to Ozark in southeast Alabama. And they bought a large home, and my grandfather was well-to-do, I guess you could say, because they had 9 children, and every one of them finished college. 3 doctors. He grew up in a family that was educated, and therefore it was normal for him to like books and love books. And he collected them always, and as I say, they were in Detroit, they were in his home. And he didn't have any grants of anything for books. He bought all of them and enjoyed them and shared them.
One of the librarians from the library that we had here, which was located in the old Hillman building, went and visited with Dr. Reynolds, I believe, in Chicago, and indicated that when and if he ever thought about placing his collection somewhere, he ought to think about the University, the Medical College of Alabama. And he returned it home, and I think it's been a great stimulus to faculty and students, and it's brought a lot of attention to this medical center and to the university for people that have come here to look at what we have here and to do their research.
Almost all of the masters medicine masters are represented in this library. Their workings. We have almost all of them. Vesalius, Harvey, and so many others. They're here. For the serious student, this is an opportunity, I say, to examine the minds of the masters, and I think that is one of the strongest justifications we can have for keeping them. For Dr. Reynolds to be able to see the value of these books and his colleagues to help him to acquire them is a marvelous human interest story. And his willingness to donate them back to his home state and his home universities where he did his undergraduate work, we are the benefactors of all those hours that he spent locating them, acquiring them, and storing them. The dedication of the library on February 2nd, 1958 was quite a milestone in the history of this institution. At that time, a number of individuals, guests from outside of Birmingham and local people participated in this dedication. Dr. Tinsley Harrison was our chairman of the Department of Medicine here, the first one when the school moved to Birmingham in 1945. And I'd like to read his statement at that time. And each time one of you reaps from the great minds of the past the desire for finer achievement in your profession and nobler development of your own character, the Reynolds Library will have been rededicated. I think this summarizes rather briefly what the whole library means to the university.
I do remember the building, and it was a one-story building about the size of a 2-car garage, and it was I think made of yellow brick. It didn't fit in at any rate. And I went in there several times. Sometimes it was locked, and you had to find an individual to let you in. But the collection was excellent. It was really, I think, the original collection, and not much had been added at that time.
I remember the building. Oh, it was so exciting to have that building, because the library at that time was located in the old Hillman building on the 2nd floor, and it wasn't a very exciting place. And this was a wonderful, exciting place to go and look at things and read books and learn more about the history of medicine. as I remember it, it was made out of, I guess, a cream or yellow-colored brick, which was, it stood out because of that on it, and it was a place apart, if you would, when it came to all the other red brick buildings with that yellow brick that it had. And you went into it, and it was such a quiet atmosphere and a feeling of being home.
I remember the library being built to house the collection and to enable Dr. Reynolds to come down and spend time with his collection. And so the building was built as a little apartment with his books properly humidified and shelved and so forth. But the idea was that he could come down and live among his books. And unfortunately, he didn't really get to do that. But the good thing was that the other thing he wanted that library to do was stimulate dialogue among faculty and students and staff, and to give the medical students a sense of where medicine had come from. And in that regard, it fulfilled its purpose very well. There were a lot of lectures, a lot of little seminars, just a variety of activities that took place in that little building.
After the Reynolds Historical Library came here, we were able to talk to the dental students and dental alumni. Said, it wouldn't be nice if you contributed something to that historical collection. And so they thought about it, and we learned of the fact that Martha Washington had written her dentist to construct a denture, and she described that she wanted, in this letter she described that she wanted the teeth to be small and white. And this was presented to the Dental Alumni Association, and they raised the money to purchase these letters for the historical collection.
The 48 Florence Nightingale letters are just the ultimate treasure, and I know that we have to be the envy of other universities throughout the U.S. and abroad.
So I think that it's important to take specific areas and become expert in them. And rather than try to accomplish and duplicate the New York Academy of Medicine, or even attempt to compare to the National Library of Medicine, I thought we should take something that would be unique to the South, something that would pertain to Alabama, and something that if people elsewhere wanted to find a unique collection, hopefully we would be the place.
That we had treasures from the medical world. I mean, you know, you look at Vesalius, and there are all those wonderful drawings, and you see Harvey's actual book where he talked about the circulation of the blood. That was so cool, and it was cool to me as a layman, but it was very meaningful to scholars around the world that they could come and use that collection and interact with the originals of the literature.